7 department heads sign contracts. Workers discuss regional needs. And turning waste into feed and fertiliser.
This is the National EMTV News with Meribah Tulo.
A very good evening. Thank you for joining us. This is Wednesday's news. 7 departmental heads signed their employment contracts this morning before Governor-General Grand Chief Sebob Dadai, witnessed by Acting Secretary for Personnel Management Taya Sansan. 4 of the 7 were reappointed, while the other 3 are new.
22 of the National AIDS Council.
7 employment contracts were signed today by Governor-General Grand Chief Sebob Dadai, together with the Acting Secretary for Personnel Management Department and respective contract recipients. 4 of the senior departmental heads were reappointed and given employment contracts. Chief Executive Officer of the PNG Accident Investigation Commission, Dean Kuri, and Executive Director of PNG Sports Foundation, Peter Tsiamalili, were reappointed for a period of 4 years for their positions. The other 2 department heads reappointed are Managing Director for Conservation and Environment Protection Authority Ganta Joku and West New Britain Provincial Administrator Williamson Hosea. New appointees are Dr. Nick Dalla as Director of National AIDS Council Secretariat, Clarence Hoot as Managing Director of Investment Promotion Authority, and Stephen Marken appointed as Managing Director of the Small to Medium Enterprises Corporation. The department heads were appointed by the National Executive Council and gazetted in the National Gazette. Patricia Chiamo, National EMTV News.
A pre-forum meeting for government, employers and workers of the 11 member states, including the South Pacific and Oceanic Council of Trade Unions and the Pacific Islands Private Sector Organization, was held today to discuss sub-regional issues facilitated by ILO employers and workers specialists. The Forum for the Pacific Islands is expected to raise awareness of constituents and the general public of the report's vision on the future for work.
The pre-forum session for the Pacific Tripartite High-Level Forum kicked off on a high note at APEC House earlier this afternoon with representatives from all 11 ILO member states in the Pacific. The main aim of today's forum is to advocate for the interests of the private sector at the country level to participate and contribute to the policy development and strategies for private sector development. Today's session and discussions were hosted by Alfred Manasseh, Minister for PNG Labour and Industrial Relations, the PNG Employers Federation and the PNG Trade Union Congress. Still on building a roadmap to a brighter future of work in the Pacific, tomorrow's forum session will focus on the most relevant topics of digitization and decent work and strengthening capacity for all people to benefit from the opportunities of a changing world of work. Anet Kora, National EMTV News.
Medang police have arrested and charged 5 suspects who were in possession of large quantities of marijuana at the Lava Lava settlement. 4 men and a woman were caught by police response unit members while on patrol along the LBC road to Lava Lava. The 5 are now at Beyond Jail, awaiting their court appearance.
Medang's response unit was on its normal patrol when they sighted 2 market vendors acting suspiciously. The members stopped and searched their market table where they found a substantial amount of marijuana concealed inside.
They looked suspicious, so the officers decided to stop and search these 2 guys. Search the market or what they were selling. They discovered large quantities of marijuana there.
The 2 suspects initially caught by police also revealed the identity of other drug dealers within the same area they were living in. 3 more suspects who were also in possession of large quantities of marijuana and were arrested and the drugs confiscated.
The 2 guys who were apprehended, they led the police to the other guys who were supplying the large amount of marijuana hidden in their houses.
The street value of the drug hold is around 50,000 kina. Martha Louise, National EMTV News, Medang.
You're watching National EMTV News. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Don't go away. Welcome back to National EMTV News. A student was attacked in the early hours of this morning, or Tuesday morning rather, by a group of boys near the Boroko market in Port Moresby. According to eyewitnesses, the student, who is in his teens, was under the influence of alcohol and became an easy target. He was stabbed 3 times in the lower abdomen and received multiple cuts to his forearm. The suspects ran off with his belongings, leaving the teenager to lie flat near the road. 3 suspects have been apprehended and are in police custody at the Boroko police station. Southern Highlands Provincial Government will continue to support subsidizing fees for its students attending tertiary institutions around the country. Project Fee Coordinator David Kelma says the provincial government stands by its decision to subsidize tertiary fees. Mr. Kelma says the challenge now is to increase the budget allocation and also capture students in colleges.
The presentation of financial assistance signifies the commitment made by the Southern Highlands Provincial Government in 2018. Fee Coordinator David Kelma says funding is limited, but the human resource sector is crucial in supporting the public service sector. He says the concern now is to increase the allocated funding so colleges and technical institutions are included.
We'll try our best, my coordination team will try our best to put forward to increase the funding. And we consider other schools as well, other colleges as well. But after all, it depends on the funding as well. And the funding is one thing. We can propose this, but funding is very important. Yes.
For Southern Highlands, its public service performance is at 60% according to records of the Office of Rural Development. Apart from lawlessness issues in the province, the turnaround and rebuilding requires the input from its human resource capacity. The provincial government wants that sector to grow.
With this support, you will receive it gladly and you will work hard, and hopefully you can put something back into the province.
Despite being appreciative of the fee support, an officer from the Jubilee Institute believes this funding must be made available at the beginning of the year during registration.
I would like to make to the provincial government, going into the future, if we could make those fundings available during the beginning of the year, it would really help the students.
Especially for those who are subsistence farmers or the parents who are unemployed, this kind of help is a big help.
Representatives from different universities were present to receive their share of subsidies. The total amount depends on the number of students attending that particular institution. Fee Coordinator David Kelma urged the Southern Highlands Provincial Government to increase the allocation in the 2020 budget. Southern Highlands has less than 1,000 students attending tertiary institutions around the country this year.
The provincial government sponsored about 1,700 students right across the 7 universities. And this year looks like the number has dropped a bit, maybe because of many of our students who graduated last year.
Jack Lapava Jr., National EMTV News.
The Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee has reaffirmed their focus on ensuring that state agencies explain how they use public funding. This is according to newly elected PAC Chairman Sir John Pundari. In thanking the Prime Minister for the confidence in appointing new members to the PAC, Sir John emphasized that their focus will be to ensure that agencies properly acquit for funding in their care as custodians of the state.
Let me, on behalf of the committee, again thank the Parliament for the confidence that they have had in myself to appointing me as the chairman of the committee, for appointing deputy chairman in Gerrit Jufa, the governor for Oro, and all other committee members in the likes of the Honourable Donald, the Honourable member for Northfly. We will not let their confidence in us down in any way.
Exactly.
We will serve to the best of our ability to the last sitting day of Parliament in this term. Let us stay together. Let us work together. I am sure that the big talk about taking Papua New Guinea back, the Permanent Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts will do its little bit in ensuring that we account to the people of our country.
The Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee has announced that they will hold an inquiry into the operations of Kumul Petroleum Holdings. According to PAC Chairman Sir John Pundari, this decision to request for KPHL to appear before the committee is to ascertain how the entity has managed funds received since first gas in 2014.
Take some questions.
Newly appointed chairman of the Parliamentary Public Accounts Committee, Sir John Pundari, called a media conference today to discuss several issues relating to the PAC, including the decision of the committee to hold an inquiry into the affairs of Kumul Petroleum Holdings. According to Sir John, the decision is to get an idea of several issues relating to KPHL, among them the total income received since the first LNG shipment in 2014.
From the income generated, we would want to know how much of that belonged to the landowners of this country, how much of that belonged to the state, how much of that was earmarked, or as a sharing for the provincial governments for that matter.
The PAC also making it clear that they wanted to clarify the breakup of revenue received, including landowner benefits.
For the landowners, we would appreciate how much of that was paid to the landowners, or if everything was paid to them or not, or if any of those funds is saved and is kept. Is it kept in an overseas account, or is it kept in an account in the country? And those information has to be provided.
With a view to also clarify how much revenue that belongs to the state as the shareholder, as well as KPHL's operational costs.
From what was earmarked for the state, what was paid into the consolidated revenue, and what was kept back by the Kumul Petroleum Holdings for their use insofar as their operational functions are concerned. How much they used to pay for consultants or whatever for that matter, or if they had invested some of those funds elsewhere.
According to Sir John, the decision taken by the PAC is in line with promoting greater transparency and accountability for state agencies who are answerable to the people of this country.
There is no reason why they should be secretive about monies that don't belong to them, but monies that belong to the people of this country. They're just like a real estate agent that collects rentals from other people's properties. And we want to know how effective and efficient they are in managing those funding that belongs to other people. And other people, in a sense, the people of this country, the landowners of this country, the government of the people of this nation. And there is no reason why they should go around and put some secretive coatings of whatever kind.
Yes.
To say that, oh, this act says this, or that act says that. Hey, listen, the Public Accounts Committee has got the mandate from the Constitution. We are the voice of the voiceless citizens of this country.
Water PNG has supported the Enga Cultural Show with 10,000 kina. It was presented by Water PNG Chairman Sandy Shaka and present to witness the check. To receive the check was Show Committee Chair Lady Margaret Potane. Mrs. Potane, upon receiving the check, said the money will go towards pushing the work forward. She thanked Water PNG for its continuous support towards the staging of another successful show. The cultural show, a great tourist attraction, is held annually from the 9th to the 12th of August in Wabeg. Enga Province has proven that they can successfully host an international rugby league match without any problems. Last weekend's Intra-Super Cup match staged in Wabeg was a success. People in the provincial capital were on the best behavior.
Enga Province, a Highlands province known for its tribal fights, played host to an international rugby game last weekend, which turned out to be a great success. Governor Sir Peter Ipotas noted his people's good behavior and thanked everyone involved in making it a great event.
So I want to once again take this opportunity to thank everybody who has had faith in our people, our behavior.
The warm reception and thrilling welcome given to the team's arrival was greatly appreciated by the international organizers. The people's hospitality, the overall organization, and great behavior shown by the people showcased Enga Province as a great place to visit.
We do a yearly trip to all the country areas in Queensland, and this is the first time we've been to Enga, and it's really worked well for us. I'd like to thank the Governor. He's done a super job. Obviously, Hunters, and the Tigers who have supported this, the whole concept. So
the first of its kind event saw a remarkable turnout by the people and organizers alike. This goes on to boost confidence in the authorities in bringing more international events to Enga.
To say, Peter and your team, the work you've done here gives us confidence that we can bring another international game here. So it's a plus for all of us. We tick a lot of boxes going forward. So
the province looks forward to hosting more international events in Rugby League and other events such as the PNG Fashion Week that showcases Enga and Papua New Guinea to the world. Gwenda Baba, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Central Province Governor Robert Agarobe wants Sogeri to be the first tourism destination in the province. Agarobe says his government will prioritize in 3 areas: agriculture, tourism and sport to drive the economy of Central Province. The governor says according to the Australian High Commission, millions of kina has been spent over the years along the Kokoda track. He has urged the Central Provincial Government administration to work together with the Kokoda initiative to capture the money spent each year by tourists back into the province's development. You're with National EMTV News. We'll be back with more right after these messages. Welcome back to National EMTV News. Efforts are underway to turn brewery waste into animal feed and natural fertiliser. Initiating this concept are SP Brewery and Boira Holdings Limited, the company that manages Edai Town development, situated just outside the nation's capital. Edai Town is located near Boira village. The community there will benefit from this project under a Memorandum of Understanding. The MOU was signed today.
It is a cycle that ultimately will benefit the people of Brewery village, converting beer waste into animal feed to supplement protein and fat essentials for the purpose of breeding healthy livestock and providing a natural fertilizer for those who tend to their gardens.
That malt, after we extract the parts that we need from it, is left as waste. It still has a significant value to it. And we've been working with Edai Town, the group, and Sir Moyes with his guidance to actually do quite an innovation here, which I'll let them talk to you about. But it's part of what our commitment is, that we have zero waste to landfill. The waste actually then gets used for something which gets to be made into chicken feed.
How this works is that Edai Town Development Limited will collect spent grain or beer waste from SP Brewery and distribute to the Boira community. They will then utilize the waste as animal feed and natural fertilizer through a converting process via the black soldier fly larva.
What we do is the flies that you see flying around, those are not the flies. It's not a fly. Yeah. They will come, they will drop their poo, and that's what you feed the waste. That's what we'll be using to feed our waste, our flies. When they grow into a larvae, they die, then we get it and we give it to as a stock feed, either for pigs or chicken, or else we can use it for fertilizer.
The waste from the BSFL will be used as an organic fertilizer for the food gardens, which will replace imported animal feed and chemical fertilizers. The MOU will be in place for 3 years and will see a conversion of waste to feed projects that would otherwise continue to increase strain on limited landfill spaces and creates a win-win solution for all parties involved.
The beer spent is being converted into fertilizers, and the larva that we use can be used as a chicken feed, as a feed. So basically the whole thing, everything is all recyclable and everything is reused. Nothing is gone to waste. And with this new initiative coming up, we are very excited to be on board and part of this whole new project. Something, hopefully you'll be the leader in PNG in doing sustainable farming, and hopefully can be replicated all over the PNG as well.
Annette Cora, National EMTV News.
Turning overseas now, Boris Johnson is expected to formally become Britain's next Prime Minister in a few hours. The man labelled as Britain's Trump is the new head of the Conservative Party. And for the first time, a leader who campaigned for Brexit is now in charge of delivering it.
Welcome to Boris's Britain.
I give notice
that Boris Johnson is elected as the leader of the Conservative and Unionist Party.
There will be people around the place who will question the wisdom of your decision. And there may even be some people here who still wonder what they have done.
Mixed reaction on the streets too.
I think he's going to be a disaster.
Best thing that could happen. I think so, yeah. Yeah, the country needed sorting out, and hopefully he'll be the person to do it.
Donald Trump thinks he will be, the US president basking in the win.
They're saying Britain Trump. They call him Britain Trump, and people are saying that's a good thing, that they like me over there. That's what they wanted.
Boris Johnson follows a well-trodden path for Britain's elite, from Eton to Oxford to the Houses of Parliament. A charismatic frontman who led the Brexit charge.
Such an honour to have you here, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, please call me Boris.
His mishaps only adding to his eccentric reputation.
But the challenges ahead for Boris Johnson are formidable. He inherits a divided country, a divided party. He also faces opposition from senior MPs within the Conservative Party. And the fact that there's a new Prime Minister doesn't change the arithmetic here in Parliament. And some are already questioning just how long his tenure will last.
So far, 6 ministers have indicated they won't be in Boris Johnson's cabinet, and the opposition party's planning a no-confidence vote. But supporters say Boris Johnson's leadership style is about bringing the feel-good factor.
He's able to go into a room and he's able to get people feeling positive and feeling like they can achieve some change.
The toughest test now, delivering Brexit. In his words, do or die.
We are going to energise the country. We're going to get Brexit done on October the 31st. We're going to take advantage of all the opportunities that it will bring in a new spirit of can-do.
Boris Johnson's achieved a lifetime dream.
Has it sunk in yet?
Thank you. Getting there.
Now the reality of living it is ahead.
2 Canadian teenagers thought to be missing are now suspects in the murders of Australian Lucas Fowler and his American girlfriend. The pair are also connected with the death of a third person found near the teenagers' abandoned truck in British Columbia.
Lucas Fowler and his American girlfriend China Dees at the start of a road trip through Canada's Northern Rockies.
It just seemed like the free-spirited butterfly that traveled all over the world finally found another free-spirited butterfly.
Seen here on July 13 at a service station, filling up their newly renovated van with fuel and grabbing snacks. Days later, Lucas and China were shot dead.
It's a love story that's ended tragically. It really is. It's the worst ever love story, because we now have 2 young people who had everything ahead of them tragically murdered.
In my time here, it is unusual. I mean, we have seen homicides, but generally speaking, not of this nature.
Adding to the complexity of this case is a mystery man found dead on the same stretch of highway near a burning truck. Police want to speak to these 2 young men who own that truck. They were thought to be missing, but are now suspects in all 3 deaths.
It's possible that they are linked.
I can't be specific with respect to how we've made those determinations, but I can say that investigators are confident in saying that rather than being missing, we now can confirm that they are traveling elsewhere in Canada.
Police also want to speak to this man. He was spotted standing in the middle of the Alaska highway the night before the bodies of Lucas and China were found. Families desperate for answers.
As you know, I may be an experienced police officer, but today I'm standing here as the father of a murder victim. We are just distraught.
And the loss tearing them apart.
Here with Wednesday's news, we go for another break. When we come back, some sporting updates in Trukai Sports. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. Despite getting a silver medal in the 100-meter ambulant para-athlete, Stephen Abraham is thankful he got some silverware for Papua New Guinea in his first ever Pacific Games. His next focus is the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
Came back, finishing
Representing your country in sports is as patriotic as you can get, and getting a medal for your efforts is the best reward for every athlete. Para-athlete Stephen Abraham is a silver medalist and a proud Papua New Guinean. Competing for the first time in the Pacific Games, he blitzed past the competition to get silver. The 100-meter ambulant race is different from the normal 100-meter race. The person finishing first is not always the gold medalist. It's the athlete racing against the clock and the world record for their classification. All the para-athletes in the race have different impairments and are classified differently, so they have to reach closest to their classification world records. In this case, it was Sylvian Bova of New Caledonia who received gold for coming close to the world record of the vision impaired. Abraham finished first but received silver.
It's a nice race, and me and mama say me run lo name the country do me so. Time me run time me toka me must happy name the country do me so me must see one plus something the country do me the PNG.
He has always admired athletes in Team PNG and is privileged to be part of the Samoa Pacific Games team.
Mr. Luki, some of the athletes, me like time so Mr. like lo come up with some more some Stephen Curry, Mr. Him story blame every day. Yeah, dika toya whistle Mr. Him go minusa se bami kama sem lo prayer blow me chol na me wasem.
The 19-year-old from NCD and Milne Bay was looking to finish close to the world record, but had to endure a false start.
Then me like kiss him, Mr. World record too na. Me like beat him time so. Me like run him world record to me so. Time all me kiss the false start there me chorus na me talk lo. Lipla coach, lipla train, lipla come or itini. So make him get time me run him. Alright, but at least also mix him silver me talk. At least me happy name the country do me also.
He is trained by the best. Former PNG sprinter Peter Pulu is his coach, and he has learned a lot from him.
5-6 months now. We start one time, training one time, so me feel also me training good one time. Because all nipple skills we rouse him to me, so time me go run do me mama straight to run do me so time. If I'm calling me talk thank you Lem.
Abraham is looking to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics in 2020, and he's got his work cut out for him.
Coach me rini me Peter Pulu and rini me and talk me give 1 week cholo, but me just start free. Monday but me start training lo burkim start time. So but me qualify.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
PNG female kickboxers have been given a chance to participate in world title fights. This is the first time female fighters in PNG have been given this opportunity.
This is an initiative by the PNG Kickboxing Federation to help female fighters in the country gain some international exposure. This is the first of its kind in the country to have female fighters compete at an international level.
We've been seeing a lot of females just taking part in kickboxing, but not taking any front states, and always been the back states. And I think it's about time we have to give this opportunity, because we've seen a number of interest for women across the country, but we haven't been given that opportunity, and I think that day has come.
Joycelyn Nauni and Jessie Gonopa have been chosen to compete for the World Kickboxing belt. The winner goes on to compete for the Intercontinental title against an international opponent.
So I think I'm also very proud of the event that is coming up in September. That is to showcase our young ladies in the country. And maybe we will have potential promoters outside of PNG who would want to take on board our ladies in the country to go and fight overseas to display their potential in other parts of the world.
Joycelyn and Jessie have been part of the code for past years, but have not been given an opportunity to fight for an international belt. This time around, PNG Kickboxing Federation has given them the opportunity to do so, something they say will help increase female participation in kickboxing.
The first of its kind, where women are given a platform to showcase our talent. We've been overshadowed by men for some time now, so I think it's good for Chief and Eddie to come up with this initiative to at least put us women out in the fighting market. So I'm proud to be the first, and for Joycelyn and me to fight for this title belt.
Asking all girls that sister number can come join fight.
PNG Kickboxing Federation is looking to improve the sport and have equal participation in their federation. Nauni and Gonapa will go head-to-head on the 18th of September at Sports Scene. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
Oil Search Limited and Papua New Guinea Cancer Foundation today launched its annual Daffodil Corporate Golf Challenge in Port Moresby. The charity golf event raises funds for the PNG Cancer Foundation to carry out its education and awareness programs. The competition tees off at the end of next month.
For 2019.
Having been as one of the longest running annual charity golf event in Port Moresby, the competition continues to thrive and develop into a well-recognized event. At the launching today, longtime supporter and partner Oil Search Limited committed a generous sum of 25,000 kina for this year's event.
Celebrates its 90 years as a proud Papua New Guinea company, and it also represents a 17th consecutive year that we have proudly supported the Daffodil Corporate Golf Challenge.
The charity golf event's sole objective is to raise funds for PNG Cancer Foundation, which helps the foundation to deliver its educational and awareness programs to schools and communities across the country.
All the funds raised from the 2019 Oil Search Daffodil Corporate Golf Challenge will go towards bringing cancer education and awareness programs to various communities and schools throughout PNG in 2020.
Oil Search partnership with PNG Cancer Foundation is one of the many corporate supports PNG Cancer Foundation receives, in which financial assistance plays a vital role in creating awareness on cancer prevention and early detection.
I think without the support of the business community and also individuals, I don't think we will raise those funding to support this. Over the years, Oil Search through its support has provided probably close to 700,000 kina in terms of funding this over the 17 years, and from the business community over 2 million kina.
PNG Cancer Foundation CEO and Motu Koitabu Chairman Daddy Toka Jr. was the first to pay his team's registration fee of 3,000 kina to kick off the team registrations. The 2019 Oil Search Daffodil Corporate Golf Challenge tees off on Friday, August 30th, 2019 at the Port Moresby Golf Club. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
Don't go anywhere, we'll have more of Trukai Sports when we come back. Stay tuned.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. To some sport abroad in the New Zealand Silver Ferns have returned home with the Netball World Cup trophy. Issues around the lack of prize money for the team are still dominating conversations. The players, however, are adamant they play for the love of the game and not financial incentives as their achievement continues to sink in.
A rousing welcome for the nation's latest world champions. The Silver Ferns off their long-haul flight from Liverpool, complete with extra luggage.
No one wanted the responsibility, so I've got it. It's scary.
But that title of World Cup winners hasn't quite hit home.
It's very surreal still. It definitely hasn't sunk in. So much of it still feels real crazy.
As they revel in the moment, the debate over the initial lack of prize money for players rumbles on.
We play netball because we love it. If we wanted money, we'll go chase, something else somewhere else.
I think that's why our passion burns so strong, because, there's no outside factors.
I'm a world champion, so really nothing could beat this, so I'm just happy with that.
There was even a suggestion that any potential bonus from sponsors could be better spent.
There's so many ways that they can add to netball. It's not about the prize money for us at all. If grassroots netball needs to grow.
Still, there's some belief this result could be a tipping point.
I think we've been talking a lot about increased visibility for women in sports, and I think this is the start of it, right?
I think we need to make the most of it so that we do get, the coverage that netball deserves.
In the last 2 days, people from the Prime Minister to schoolgirls have labelled this side an inspiration.
We want women and girls, and we want to, we really want to empower them to believe and to play and get active.
For 3 members of this group, it's a case of getting back to their day jobs over the next week, a dose of reality that won't take the shine off their achievement.
Nothing absolutely touches or comes near to what we've done with the Ferns. This is the proudest thing I've ever been a part of.
For now, packing up that precious cargo, with Netball New Zealand in discussions to share it with the public in the near future.
And while women's netball is enjoying new heights, the men's game is hoping to use their pre-World Cup victory against the Ferns as a way to build a bigger and better sport.
Seem a long shot, but the end goal is to one day have a proper platform for men's netball.
The more it gets exposed, the more that people will want to see it. So it's really just putting the product out there and slowly but surely gathering an audience for it.
The product's having a complete makeover this year, with the Canterbury League no longer just social. While players are amateur, things are run more professionally, with weekly trainings, full uniforms and coaches.
Everyone's a little bit quicker, it seems, and just a bit stronger and taller. You've got to really jump higher and try to get those balls.
How we've started off with this competition, it would be a cool lead into other regions kind of taking on or adopting the structure that we have, and maybe one day it might go semi-professional.
Local men's teams usually only get their semi-professional taste from pre-season games against the Premiership women's sides and the Silver Ferns. But the first formal outing against our newly crowned world champs put men's netball in the spotlight.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience. It was great to finally get some recognition, I guess, for all the work that we do with the women's teams prior to tournaments, be it ANZ or international.
This year's 5-team competition attracting 15 new players.
Well, I originally started playing sort of socially. It was a great social occasion. Might have been a good way to meet a female or two, actually. And it's ironic now that I'm in a men's league, but got quite competitive in the end, and I thought I'd give it a go with these men.
The men's game hoping to one day reach the same heights as their female counterparts.
And then in Strukai Sports for this evening, we go for a break, and when we come back, we take a look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours.
Strukai Sports. Strukai Sports.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Money Plus. With you always.
A look at the weather forecast for the next 24 hours in the southern region. Port Moresby, fine although patches of drizzles. A top temperature of 29 degrees as well, and mostly fine for Daru. Rain results expected in Kirama and Popondetta, mostly cloudy in Alotau. To the Momasa region, rain and cloudy weather expected in Leh, cloudy weather and some showers in Wau, rain drizzles in Madang, rain showers in Wewak and Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, rain showers expected in Lorengau and Kavieng, cloudy weather and some rain over the next 24 hours for Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe, rain and thunderstorms expected in Buka. And in the Highlands region, all the major centres, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabe can expect rain drizzles with morning fog developing. A look at the forecast for small ships for the next 24 hours. Waters of southern PNG Indonesian border through Torres Strait and Daru to Kiwai Island to Kerama, Yule Island, Hood Point, Aroma Coast to Samurai Island, and waters of Manus and its western group of islands, waters of East New Britain to New Island and Bougainville, and waters of West New Britain, seas 2.5 to 3.5 meters. Waters of Eastern and Western Milne Bay Islands and waters of Samurai Island to Cape Vogel to Finchafen, seas 2 to 3 meters. Waters of Finchafen through Vitias and Dampier Strait to Siasi Island to Long Island, seas 2.5 to 3 meters. And waters of Long Island to Medang, Bogia, Wewak, Aitape, Vanimo and the northern PNG Indonesian border, seas 0.5 to 1.5 meters. And a look at the ocean forecast for PNG areas. Coral Sea seas rough to high seas with southeasterly winds at 25 to 34 knots, gusting to 48 knots at times. Solomon Sea seas rough with southeasterly winds at 25 to 34 knots. Bismarck Sea seas rough with high seas with southeasterly winds at 25 to 34 knots with gusts of 48 knots. And the Pacific Ocean seas moderate with southwesterly winds at 15 to 20 knots.
This weather update is proudly brought to you by Money Plus. With you always.
And that's the way it is today, Wednesday, the 24th of July 2019. On behalf of the entire EMTV News team right around the country, pleasant viewing. Good night.